That is the happiness one gets in family, friendship, love. Sutta in children, Mita, friends, Ramani, wife, and opposite sex. So Samaje in this family, society, etc. Just like in a huge desert, one drop of water particle. Like that, the happiness derived in the company of Sutta, Mita, Ramani, Samaje. In the midst of children, wife, friends, etc. That means there is no happiness in this material world. One should not try to derive some happiness in this materialistic way. That's not possible. So Vidyapati is that Prabhupada would quote. Chandidas, mostly not so much. But Sri Gita Govind is very famous, but it is very esoteric, very high platform. It requires a very pure heart to be able to read and appreciate. Many misunderstand because it talks about Radha Krishna, very intimate pastimes, which are not for conditioned souls. They will not be able to digest it. But Mahaprabhu, he is Krishna himself. He would love to hear these poems of Vidyapati Chandidas, Gita Govind. They would be sung by Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. As per the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would know at this time what is his mood and which is the song which is most fitting. In that poet's particular poem only he would sing. So that was his level. He knows how to please Krishna at different times, how to please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is another characteristic of our service of Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. Now one more. Sangite Gandharva Sama Shastre Brahaspati Damodara Sama Ara Nahi Mahamati. In Sangeet, in musical performance, he was like Gandharva. Gandharvas are very famous for their musical performances. Whenever, for that matter, in the heavenly planet also, in front of Indra, there are so many performances. So Gandharvas sing, and on that music, Apsaras dance. Apsaras are famous for dancing, heavenly damsels, Rambha, Urvashi, Menka, etc. And Gandharvas are famous for singing. So his singing was so melodious, very melodious. Sangite Gandharva Sama Shastre Brahaspati. In presentation of scriptural lines, he was like Brahaspati, the guru of the demigods. Damodara Sama Ara Nahi Mahamati. Swarup Damodar was as expert a musician as the Gandharvas. And in scriptural discussion, he was just like Brahaspati, the priest of the heavenly gods. Therefore, it is to be concluded that there was no great personality quite like Swarup Damodar. So much glorification of Swarup Damodar Goswami is there. After all, he is a very intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How many intimate associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? 6. 6 Goswamis. 3.5. Swarup Damodar Goswami, Ramanand Rai, Shikhi Mahiti, and his sister Madhvi. Because she is in woman body and Mahaprabhu is sannyasi, so that's why she is considered half. So these 3, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Ramanand Rai, Shikhi Mahiti, and sister Madhvi Devi. So 3.5 intimate associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So very special personality, Swarup Damodar Goswami. And so many pastimes are there in which he is there. He got so much association of Mahaprabhu. He is one of the first ones to join Mahaprabhu's company. He had already associated with Mahaprabhu as Purushottam Acharya in Navadvip. And when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he went mad, went to Varanasi, took sannyas. And after just 2 years of gap, when Mahaprabhu was in South India tour, he was in Varanasi, learning from his guru, etc. Then he has come. He is the first one to join. And he was there till Mahaprabhu's departure from this world. After Mahaprabhu departed, he also departs. And because of separation from these two, Raghunath Das Goswami, who after joining Mahaprabhu was kept under Swarup Damodar Goswami and thereby was famous by the name Swarupera Raghu. There are already so many Raghunaths there. Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. So this Raghunath Das Goswami became famous as Swarupera Raghu. But he lost 2 masters. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left planet. We know how he left. In Tota Gopinath temple, he entered in the deity of Gopinathji, like that. So one day then when there was kirtan going on, which would be daily the case, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the afternoon, after taking prasad, he would go to Tota Gopinath, where Gadadhar Pandit was staying. That was his place. he got these deities, Tota Gopinath. Mahaprabhu entrusted these deities to his care, and Gadadhar Pandit took Kshetra Sannyas. Sannyas, but unlike other sannyasis, Kshetra Sannyasi does not move from one place to another place. Staying in one place 3 days, going to the next place. No. He stays in one place and he worships his deities. And that was Kshetra Sannyas of Gadadhar Pandit. He was staying in Tota Gopinath, worshipping the deities. Every day Mahaprabhu would go in the afternoon and hear Srimad Bhagavatam from this Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit was very famous for recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. And so much in ecstasy, he would shed profuse tears. The tears would fall on the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam and the ink would be washed off. So much love for Bhagavatam. Very famous. Mahaprabhu would love to hear, every day would go. And quite often he would love to hear the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. After hearing once, he would say, repeat it again, repeat it again. So much ecstasy. And so much fondness, liking. When we hear one pastime, then once it's kind of registered here, then we are not so enthusiastic next time. This pastime, I know it. Because we have material outlook. So that's why we cannot relish Katha. Otherwise, Mahaprabhu is the best example. He's showing by his own personal example. Apani Achari Prabhu Jivere Shikhai. By his own example, he shows how to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. That no matter once you heard, you should develop fondness, liking for hearing again. So he would hear that daily. So one day after the Bhagavad Katha, then he told devotees, let's have Kirtan, which was also daily affair. So devotees started dancing like this only. How many of you had been to Tota Gopinath temple in Puri Dham? Maximum devotees had been. So you know how temple hall is. So they started dancing and Mahaprabhu was also dancing, and after some time he just opened the doors were open. He entered in the altar, he closed the doors from inside, which also was the case sometimes. Mahaprabhu in ecstasy would do that. So quite often he closed the doors. Devotees were doing kirtan was going on. After a long time, they stopped the kirtan. But there was no sign of Mahaprabhu's opening door and coming out. So devotees were wondering, what is the case? So then one devotee went and he opened the door and he saw the Lord is there, but Mahaprabhu is not there. And he found there was a crack on the right knee of Gopinathji, Tota Gopinathji. And Mahaprabhu is not visible anywhere. So all the devotees understood that Lord has completed his pastimes on planet Earth and he's gone back to Navadvip in Golok Vrindavan Dham. So devotees started crying. They had separation. Not feeling able to bear separation from Mahaprabhu, soon Swarup Damodar Goswami also left this planet. And because these two masters only were there for Raghunath Das Goswami, he could not bear separation. Everywhere in Puri Dham, in Gambhira, etc., he can remember. Just like we have experience of some near and dear one dying in our house, family. Then so much, like everything we see in the house, we are reminded of that person. Oh, here he used to sit in this chair. Here this he would do. Such kind of remembrances are there. So like that he was feeling quite taken aback. So then he was thinking, I should not be here. He left Puri Dham. He went to Vrindavan in Govardhan area. And there also he could not be happy. Then he decided to commit suicide only. That I should jump from the top of Govardhan and finish my life. Because I cannot continue like this. But a Vaishnava, before doing anything, he has to seek blessings of other Vaishnavas. So he went to Rup Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. My dear Gosais, please give me blessing. They said, for what? For committing suicide. From Govardhan I want to jump. What? Why you want to do that? I am not able to bear separation from Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar Goswami. So that's why I feel I should end my life. They said, no. How could you do that? You are the reservoir, treasure. You have the treasure of the Mahaprabhu's pastimes. You know so many pastimes. You have eyewitnessed, you have heard from Murari Gupta, Swarup Damodar Goswami. So you please narrate those pastimes to us. We were here in Vrindavan. We could never eyewitness or even hear many of those pastimes. So we are desperate to hear. Please make us hear those pastimes. So then that was decided every day in the afternoon, around 2 o'clock or so, on the bank of Radhakund, they would sit and the speaker was Raghunath Das Goswami. For 3 hours or so daily, he would narrate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's different pastimes. I witnessed them for around 16 years. For a long period. Mahaprabhu was there for around 18 years. Of that, almost 16 years he eyewitnessed personally. Plus he had heard so many other pastimes. So everybody was hearing those pastimes. Goswamis mainly, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami was the narrator. In the audience there was one person, that was Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, who was hearing also, and he made nice notes. And those notes only are this Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita book. Plus little more addition of the cultures of Murari Gupta is also added. But mainly what he heard from Raghunath Das Goswami, that is only here. So Swarup Damodar Goswami is so very special, as it is said here. There was no great personality quite like Swarup Damodar. Very special, very intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As we saw, 3.5 intimate associates. He is first, Ramananda second. Next, Advaita Nityanandera Parama Priyatam Shrivasadi Bhakta Ganera Haya Pranasam. So not just having personal expertise, talents, skills, etc., but being very dear to devotees. This is the most important thing. So who all he was dear to? Everyone, but here particularly Sri Swarup Damodar was very dear to Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu. And he was the life and soul of all the devotees, headed by Srivas Thakur. So this is topmost quality of any Vaishnava, to be dear to so many Vaishnavas, or all the Vaishnavas. Because devotees are adosha darshi. Conditioned souls like us, we become dosha darshis. Everywhere we see faults. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan astihi eko mahan gunaha kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param brajet. Kali Yuga is ocean of faults. Just like an ocean has millions of drops of waters, or you can say even millions of liters of water. So similarly, Kali Yuga has so many faults. Millions. Everywhere you see, you can see faults. But astihe ko mahan guna. There is one great quality which stands out of all. And that is Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Braja. Just by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, one will be liberated from all these faults. So one who is Saragrahi, not a Bharavahi. Saragrahi means he accepts the essence, just like Brahmar, just like bumblebee. It goes to the flower, and flower is okay, beautiful looking, etc. But the most important essence of the flower is the honey that is there. So the bumblebee goes exactly, sits on the flower and takes the sar, takes the honey from that particular flower. And then after that is over, then goes to the next. There also takes the essence. So this is called as Sara Grahi. Grahi means to accept. Sar means the essence. So seeing the essence. So Kali Yuga's essence is what? Holy name, mainly. Same thing is told about Parikshit Maharaj also. Nanu Dveshti Kalim Samrat Saranga Iva Sarabhuk Kushalani Ashu Siddhanti Netarani Krutaniyat. This is glorification of Parikshit Maharaj. Na Anudveshti Kalim Samrat. When Parikshit Maharaj was going on his tour, world tour, his all kingdom. Kingdom was, by the way, a very vast kingdom. It was not just limited to Jambudvip. It was beyond Jambudvip also. But when he was going in his tract of land, then one place he found Kali Yuga in the form of a king. He was very cruelly, very ruthlessly, he was beating a cow and bull. So there, in that context, this sloka comes. Na anudveshti kalim samrat. When Samrat Parikshit saw Kali beating like this, what he saw? He saw the essence of Kali Yuga. Saranga iva sarabhuk. Saranga is same. Brahmar, the bumblebee. Sarabhuk. The bumblebee accepts only the essence of the flower. So similarly, when Parikshit Maharaj came across Kali, he saw the essence of Kali Yuga is what? Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Rajat. That is there in the 12th canto, 3rd chapter. But this is before. What is the essence of Kali Yuga? What is the speciality of Kali Yuga? Kushalani Ashu Siddhanti Netarani Krutaniyat. Kushalani. In Kali Yuga, if one decides to do something very good, he decides, not done. By deciding only, he gets the benefit of having done it. That is the beauty of Kali Yuga. Netarani Kritaniyat. And bad things, unless it does it, he doesn't get reaction for it. So how glorious is Kali Yuga? Otherwise, just imagine if we get punished, blamed for all the things we decide in the mind, bad thing. We'll be all the time punishable only. We cannot have life only, isn't it? We know way back in Satyuga also, Mother Renuka, wife of Jamadagni, she went to fetch some water, and there across the other bank of the river, she saw a very beautiful Gandharva having some amorous pastimes with his beautiful wives also. So her mind got little polluted, and so much pollution, little pollution, that much pollution was enough, by which it is said Mother Renuka, when she would touch the water, earth, immediately a pot would be formed, and she would pick up, fill it with water, and bring it for Jamadagni's fire sacrifices, etc. But this day, because she lost purity, purity got contaminated, the pot was not getting formed only. It took some time for her, and afterwards somehow she understood my husband might be waiting. So then that pot got formed, she filled the water, she brought it. But then Jamadagni immediately understood. Why is she late? By his powers, his Trikalagya. They know past, present, future. He meditated and he understood. My wife got contaminated thinking about some other man. So he became very angry. He wanted to kill her. So we know the pastime, how he told his sons. They said, no, how can we kill mother? Then he called Ram, Parshuram, and said, kill your mother because she is contaminated, and also all your brothers because they are disobeying me. So Parshuram knew that power of Jamadagni. So he at once took his Parshu, he chopped off the head of Mother Renuka, and he chopped off the heads of all his brothers also. And Jamadagni was very happy. He said, Jai, I am so pleased with you. Ask for any benediction. So he said, I want 2 benediction. One thing is revive all of them, my mother as well as brothers. Second, they should not remember that I killed them. Otherwise, even if they come to life, they will always say, hey, what is this? Mother will say, what kind of son are you? You chopped off my head. So they should never remember. So then Jamadagni said, Tathatsu, so be it. And then they came to life also. So earlier ages, even bad thought was considered bad action. If that was the case with Kali Yuga, what would be the hope for all of us? So many bad things go on in the mind. So Kali Yuga is Kushalani Ashu Siddhanti, Kushalani. Whatever good we think of, Ashu, very quickly, Siddhanti, gives the benefit. So if you cannot go to Mayapur, Navadvip, you just think that I am in Navadvip. Kabe Navadvipe Suradhuni Tate Gaura Nityananda Boli Nishkapate Nachiya Gaiya Bedai Bochote Batulera Praya Chadiya Vichara Kabe Habe Bolo Sedi Namar. Oh when that day be mine, Kabe Navadvipe, in Navadvip Dham, Suradhuni Tate, on the bank of the Ganges, Gaura Nityananda Boli Nishkapate, Gauranga Nityananda. When will I chant the name of Gauranga and Nityananda? Nishkapate, without any cunningness, any duplicity, completely innocently. And like a mad man, without considering what others might think of me, I will just go mad in Navadvip on the bank of the Ganges. So we can just think of that, and you are there in Navadvip. Just like that. Because Kali Yuga means just by thinking of good thing. This is in fact spiritual thing. Even good things. If you cannot give donation. For Vasudev we see, when Krishna is born in the Karagura, in the jail of Kamsa, he gave lakhs of cows in charity, in the mind. Because his handcuffed, has so many chains around him. He cannot get out of the jail, prison cell also. What to speak of giving charity of cow, even one cow. But after he got released, after Krishna killed Kamsa and he was released from the jail, one of the first things he did was, he gave thousands of cows, lakhs of cows in charity. Because it was pending. Mind he gave, but it is Dwapar Yuga again. So there one has to do it also. So he celebrated Krishna Janma in one sense, after he got released, when Krishna is almost 11 years and 4 months old. But he did it. But for us, we don't have to. In mind only, you can give thousands of cows in charity. We can give crores of rupees to Shishi Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. You can build a huge palatial building for their lordships. 100 times bigger than what you have come up with in the mind. But certainly you should give out something from your pocket also, if you have some money there, and from your bank account also. But that is the beauty of Kali Yuga. So that beauty, that speciality of Kali Yuga was seen by Parikshit Maharaj, and he adored it. So we should also be like that. We should see devotees. In particular, we should not see the faults in devotees. There may be faults, but as much as you love a person, that much you don't see fault. Now I will give you an exercise. Just think of your mother or father. Are there some faults in their body, morphological structure? Is there some mole on the body of your mother, father? Like my mother had a birthmark here on her stomach because she used to wear sari, so this portion is exposed, and she was fair in complexion, and that was kind of brown, like a kind of light brown mark, birthmark. So when I was a small kid, I would touch there, and I would like that I would do. I would ask mother, what is this? How this? Because I would see my stomach there. And my stomach, there is no mark like that. So I would say, what is this? She would say, this is birthmark. I would say, what is birthmark? She said, that is there from childhood. And I would keep testing, what is it? It was not anything above. It was just part of the skin only. So that is like, it's a little odd shape. It's not like a very, like tattoo people put there. It was not a tattoo, by the way. So it was from birth only. So I'm telling something like that. Like that our father, our mother, something maybe gray hair, bald hair of the father, maybe not fair complexion, dark complexion, maybe short in height. So many faults in our mother and father's body. But when we converse with them, we deal with them, we don't see that. Because we love them. Because of love, we cannot see any fault there. Similarly, children also. Every child, if you watch carefully, you will find, in fact, you don't have to watch carefully also. From distance only, they are so naughty. You can see so many faults in them. But you ask mother, you ask father, they will say, oh, my child, he is apple of my eyes and this and that. For them, he is like a prince, like that. In Marathi, there is saying also, apla to babya, dusracha to kartiya. I don't know how many of you understand Marathi, but apla to baba means my baby, like darling, sweet, and this and that. And dusra to kartiya is it's a, what do you call, ill name, gali. Like you say, na, rascal, fool, like that. Kartiya means a very low class child. So like that. So my baby, beautiful, amazing, and all that. So when we love someone, we don't see fault. But unfortunately, we have not reached the stage of loving devotees. We are there somehow, and we understand these devotees are required, but we have not developed appreciation for devotees, because one of the things is our intellect is not yet nourished fully. That's why Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Then Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. The Abhadra of seeing faults in devotees will go away if we daily hear Srimad Bhagavatam, because we learn to see devotees with spiritual vision. Just go outside the compound wall of this temple premises and ask every person you come across, sir, how many rounds of Hare Krishna mantra you chant? He'll say, what? Rounds? Round तो मैं अपने इसमें कंपनी में मारता हूँ round. ये क्या होता है? Hare Krishna round is what? That on the beats, 108 beats. He said, I don't have beats. You chant something, I don't chant anything. He will not chant. And you go all around. What is the population here? 1 crore, 2 crore, 1.5 crore. Go and interview all of those people and ask how many are chanting Hare Krishna. They are not chanting. Vast majority is not chanting. No surprise if 99% are not chanting. Isn't it? What is the, of 1.5 crore, what is the 1%? 1. So are there 1.5 lakh people chanting Hare Krishna in Bengaluru? No. If you have 15,000, 20,000, maybe 50,000, maybe a big number. Isn't it? That much we want to preach. We would love if all 1.5 crore people chant at least one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But we have not yet reached that level. So these are the few ones around us, devotees, who are chanting. So if we are seeing essence, if we are Saragrahi, then we will not see this faults in devotees. But if we are Bharavahi, Bharavahi means carrying huge burden, just like a donkey, carries such a huge load of those clothes of the washerman. They are dumped on his back, and he goes, and after washing, it becomes all the more heavy. because wet clothes, and they are put on his back again, and then he is further down. And he may feel bad, he may feel so high of himself, so much load I carry. But what is the use? That load is not so great load. That is useless. So one should not become bharavahi, one should become saragrahi. So devotees may have faults, but those who just see the faults, they are bharavais. It's a donkey mentality. So one should not see. One should be like a brahmar, one should be like a bumblebee and take only essence. Oh, this devotee chants Hare Krishna 16 rounds, he is a hero. He is one of those rarest heroes of the whole Bangalore metropolitan city. Yes or not? I don't know whether the Chiranjeev, Venkatesh are the heroes still. They are in Tamil Nadu or here, I don't know, somewhere they are there. So they are not heroes, they are zeros. After death, the Yamadutas will come to take them. But for this devotee, Vishnudutas will come. Yes or not? Vishnudutas will come for that Venkatesh Chiranjeev. I don't know whether they are from here. Maybe they are from Andhra. Yeah. I had met his father in Film City when NVCC was opening. Before that, so one of the devotees arranged my appointment with his father. He's a politician in Bapatla area. He was, I don't know whether he's there or not. So he was the producer of films, and he would many times arrange his son, Chiranjeev or Venkatesh, Venkatesh maybe. So he would be hero in such films, Telugu films. So then he arranged my meeting. So he arranged very high level, hi-fi car, because going to meet such a huge producer, Film City in Hyderabad. So we went in that posh car, and then I presented, sir, we are coming up with a huge temple in Pune. So could you please donate something? So he said, Pune? Where is it? I said, in Maharashtra. He said, oh, Maharashtra, that is not my area. Politicians. My area is Bapatlal, something he was saying. So I was wondering, what is this? It is not my area. So we don't think like politicians. So then I said, yes, sir, but it will be very nice and this and that. He said, okay, but I want some photos to see what kind of work is going on. Then I will give like that. So afterwards, I met his secretary. She was there. She said, earlier somebody came and similarly asked for some funds for temple, but that was a cheater. There was no temple coming up. So he got cheated. He gave something. So that's why he wants to see photos. He wants to see, though you are in sadhu's dress, but still he wanted to be extra careful. So you bring some photos, he will definitely give something. I said, okay. But afterwards I could not go so much. But we can see how these people, they may be heroes in the worldly sense, but according to scriptures, they are zeros. Whereas a devotee who chants Hare Krishna, he is that hero. Devotee is most famous. In Ramananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussion, he says, Kirti Gana Madhe Kona Kirti Sreshta. In the group of Kirtis, group of glorious activities, which Kirti is most famous? So there Ramananda Raya answers, being inspired by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only, that devotee of the Lord, his deeds are most glorious activities. The devotees are so special. They are in the heart of the Supreme Lord. Sadhavo rudayam mayham sadhunam rudayam tu aham madanyate na jananti naham tebhyo managapi. Greatly renunciate personality like Durvasa Muni. He is not in the heart of Lord Narayan. But Ambrish Maharaj is there. Ambrish Maharaj is there. Though he is a grahastha, though he is a worldly king, but because he is a pure devotee, he has got special place in the heart of Lord Narayan. Whereas Durvasa doing so much tapasya, but that is not liked by the Lord. In fact, we are reading today from Chaitanya Bhagavat. After deliverance of Chand Kazi, Mahaprabhu takes first civil disobedient moment and he destroys, the devotees destroy all the courtyard and garden of Chand Kazi. Afterwards, he says, now all the things outside the house are completely burnt and all. Now you go inside the house and burn everything. So devotees get scared and they plead to the Lord, oh Lord, please, you have your expansions like Rudras at the end of creation. They destroy everything. But they do that when the appropriate time of destruction comes. So if you could be merciful, and we don't have to do such kind of heavy things, burning his house from inside, etc. So Lord says, okay. And there are some statements he makes in glorification of devotional service. So he says, even if one is a sannyasi, yogi, tapasvi, jnani, but if he is not doing kirtan, I will destroy him. Whereas even most sinful person, if he chants, does my kirtan, I remember him when he does kirtan. Just imagine. So we had a Zoom meeting today for Pune devotees. So I was telling them that when we go out for Harinam Sankirtan, we tell people, so all those who are able to hear me, the devotee who is announcing on the microphone, all those who are able to hear me, please raise your hands. And we know those who are in vicinity. And we'll tell, sir, raise your hand. Already we have announced, but many people are shy or whatever. Raise your hand. Don't feel shy. No, this is not something we should be shy about. And then we say, chant behind me and after me, Hare Krishna! The whole mantra. So isn't it? So what a benevolent activity we are doing. We are most generous people on the planet Earth. Because by making that person who must be sinful, he must be eating meat, he must be gambling, illicit sex. This is a common thing nowadays for most of the people. At least meat eating is quite common. So that sinful person is chanting Hare Krishna because you induce him to chant. Immediately Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu is remembering him. So you are giving him a place in the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What a glorious devotional activity we are doing. How amazing, how special it is. How much we will become dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what about the devotees with us who are chanting 16 rounds, who are initiated, who are following the 4 regularity principles, having some kirtan in the house, they are giving charity to temple, they are into preaching activities like book distribution, Harinam Sankirtan, temple construction. How much more dear they are to the Lord. So instead of saying this sar in the lives of devotees, if we see their faults, that bhar, then we become bharavahi donkeys only, carrying burden of their faults. But if we see the sar, that they are chanting Hare Krishna, that is enough for me to overlook all their faults. Then we are saragrahi, then we are essence carriers, acceptors of essence, like that. And that is what was Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Any assembly where he would be there and somebody would start talking about some fault of some devotee, immediately he would say, just the fact that he is chanting Hare Krishna is enough for me to overlook all his faults, all his other things. And he would silently leave that place. He was not eager to hear anything about that. I was hearing one lecture of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. There one Mataji at the end of the class, she asks a question. She gets the microphone and she says, Maharaj, if we are sitting in a place doing some seva and with some other devotees, and after some time we find somebody senior to us starts talking about some fault of some devotee, then what should we be like? Almost she's asking question. Maharaj said, you should leave that place. And Maharaj's tone becomes so grave. You should personally hear that. I'm making audio clip of that. I have made hundreds of audio clips because I was sick, undergoing health treatment. So I was more or less in Brahmacharya ashram only. So I was hearing hundreds of years lectures of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And I thought these are very nice points. In later part of my life, I want to hear them again. But how would I remember that time, which lecture of which year, which part? So it will be difficult for me. I'm not a Shrutidhar. So I thought something should be done. Then Krishna gave idea, make audio clips. And you can just hear audio clips. So then I made few, 60, 70. And I shared with some of my devotee brahmachari friends. And they said, this is so nice. Now, why don't you upload it on the internet so that many other devotees will be helped? I said, I don't know how to do uploading. They said, no, you don't worry. You give us, we'll upload it. So they uploaded it. If you want to hear, tinyurl.com/Guruvani. I think you are all better in technology. tinyurl.com/Guruvani. Guruvani. We have very powerful audio clips. Very, very powerful. So there, this will be also, afterwards, this will also be audio clip. This I happened to hear recently. So Maharaj is very grave and he says, you should leave that place. You should not continue sitting there. But you should tell that why you are leaving, that I don't want to hear the faults of devotees. Then again she asks, the Mataji asks question, but Maharaj, our service is going on there. Could be Mataji is making garland. She does not specify that. But if Maharaj, we are sitting there and our service is going on, Maharaj said, you should not continue with the service. You should tell why you are leaving and you should leave. And then Maharaj starts speaking little general. And he says, why do these people come to temple to speak the faults of others? Why don't they go across the Chaupati? There are so many people come and pass tool. They can go and pass tool there. Just see, speaking the faults of devotees, Maharaj is saying, passing stool. And why do these people come to temple? That means devotees also. Why do they come to temple to speak the faults of other devotees? They should go, because opposite to the road there is Chaupati, Girgaon Chaupati. So why don't they go there and pass tool there? Because so many people come and pass tool on Chaupati. So they can go there, across the street, not this side. They can go to that side and pass tool there, not come to temple. So very heavy. So we should not be fault finders like that. But if we are not able to capture the essence of the scriptures, then that's what we'll do. That's why Chakshur Unmilitam Yena, Shastra Chakshu. When Guru opens the eyes of the devotee, disciple, the disciple sees the world through the eyes of the scriptures, not through these eyes. These eyes show that, oh, this devotee is a poor devotee, he is not good in this, he is not good in that. So this is what we see. But when we see through the scriptures, then what are scriptures saying? What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally saying? That even if somebody is sannyasi, yogi, jnani, tapasvi, I will smash him, I will kill him if he is not doing kirtan. Now what kind of people's name he is taking? Huh? Sannyasi, jnani, tapasvi, yogi. These are not some ordinary materialistic people. They are quite exalted according to materialistic standards or piety standards. But Mahaprabhu says, I will smash them, I will finish them off. But even if a sinful person chants my name, does kirtan, then I will remember him. So what is the glory of kirtan? Anybody who does harinam, chanting, kirtan, etc. So all the devotees do so much. So we should be able to see that glory of devotees. Then we will be blessed. So here all the devotees love Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. Advaita Nityanandera Parama Priyatam Shrivasadi Bhaktaganer Haya Pranasam. Sri Swarup Damodar was very dear to Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu. And he was the life and soul of all the devotees, headed by Shrivas Thakur. Even Advaita Acharya and all that. Once Advaita Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy and he asked, Advaita, ask for a boon. And Advaita Acharya says, oh Lord, please, all those who are fallen, wretched souls, please be merciful. And you give your mercy to them. So Mahaprabhu says, because Advaita, you are praying for their deliverance, sure enough, I will make sure they all get delivered. I will give my mercy to them. So how merciful is Advaita Acharya? He wants all the living entities to be delivered. That is the reason, in his humility, he felt, I am not able to deliver all these people. Though he is personally Sadashiv, Mahavishnu, but he felt, no. So Lord himself has to come from Vaikunta. So how to get Lord of Vaikunta to this planet Earth? What is the way? Not an easy thing. So he was going through scriptures after scriptures. How to get the Lord of Vaikunta on planet? So then in Gautamiya Tantra he gets that verse. Tulasi dalamatrena jalasya chuluke nava vikriniyam samatmano bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsalaha. In Gautamiya Tantra this verse comes, which Advaita Acharya finds. And he says, that verse says, Tulasi dalamatrena. If one offers Tulasi dal, leaf of Tulasi, Tulasi dalamatrena jalasya chulukenava, and a palmful of jal, that is Ganga jal. Jalasya chulukenava. Vikriniyam swamatmano. Lord gets sold out to such a devotee. Because bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Lord is bhaktavatsal. He is very affectionate to devotees. Vatsa comes from calf. Mother cow's love for calf is the topmost love in the creation. So that's why Bhaktavatsal. There is no parallel to the love of the Lord towards his devotees. So then when he got that, then immediately he took Shaligram Shila and he would offer Ganga Jal. He sat on the bank of Ganges, mostly in Shantipur, but sometimes in Navadvip also, where he has another house. And he would water Tulsi and Ganga Jal to Lord Shaligram Shila. And he would pray to the Lord, please descend to this world to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls. And on his request, one of the three external reasons for Lord's descent to this world is the loud calling of Advaita Acharya from the bottom of his heart. Lord, please appear in this world to deliver all fallen souls. So Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, Swarup Damodar Goswami was dear to Advaita Acharya. He was dear to Nityam, so dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Adi Guru, Balaram himself. But in his 20 years of pilgrimage all throughout India. Entire India he covered, but he did not preach. Because my master has not ordered me, how can I preach on my own? That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu orders him only. Shuno shuno Nityananda, shuno Haridas, Amara agya sarvatra karaho prakash, prati ghore ghore giya ma karo yai shiksha, bolo Krishna bhaja Krishna, prati ghare ghare giya mage yai bhiksha, bolo Krishna bhajo Krishna, karo Krishna shiksha. My dear Nityanand, my dear Haridas, please go to each and every house and tell people, please chant Krishna's name, please worship Krishna, and please hear the teachings of Krishna. And they did it so wonderfully. And in the process, they delivered Jaga and Madhya also. So Nityan Prabhu, Swarup Damodar is dear to Nityan Prabhu. And all the other devotees headed by Srivas Thakur. Srivas Thakur, as we know, his house is Rasasthali. Srivas Angan is Rasasthali, where every night Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would dance with his very intimate associates. Only pure devotees allowed, nobody else, including that milk drinking brahmachari. He was so pure, that milk drinking brahmachari. But he was not a devotee. He was only a tapasvi, would drink only milk, no solid food, etc. So though Srivas Thakur allowed him inside, Mahaprabhu was very angry. What do you think? By drinking only milk, you get my mercy? Not at all. You have to be chanting Krishna's holy name. And then he was removed. But then because he was appreciative of Mahaprabhu's mercy, Srivas Thakur's mercy, so Mahaprabhu again accepted him. But the point is, Srivas Thakur is such an exalted devotee. Narad Muni himself, Bhakti Shakti is carried by Narad Muni. And that Srivas Thakur, to him, Swarup Damodar Goswami was so dear, so close. So being dear to devotees is topmost qualification. Our goal in life should be only to become dear to devotees, to serve them, to please them, and thereby become dear to them. It doesn't take much to please devotees. You don't have to give them Apple laptop on their birthday to please them. Sometimes it happens. When counselor's birthday is there, we know some scenarios like that. So all the counselors are thinking what to do. And then they all come together, they put money and they purchase Apple MacBook, and then they gift to the counselor. So that is not required. That is not at all required. We don't have to do such kind of things. He can be given one apple from the shop outside. I don't know what is the rate. If not 1 dozen, 12, we can give 1 apple from there. That will be quite cheap. We can offer to Krishna and give. Prabhupada celebrated Janmashtami on Jaladuta like that only. What did he have? He had nothing. So he just took 1 apple, he washed it, cut slices, offered to Krishna, and then he gave to the crew members, Captain Pandey, his wife, and he also took 1. That was Janmashtami celebration of 1965. Prabhupada left on Jaladuta, and just few days later there was Janmashtami. But this kind of things, devotees can be pleased with very simple things. They don't need much. We all have seen that. And that's why devotees are called as unassuming. They don't need all that pompous thing. Outside masters are so difficult to please, but devotees are so easy to please. Little devotion and little fervently praying to the Lord, then devotees will become pleased. Se Damodara si Dandavata Haila Charane Padiya Shloka Padite Lagila. So that Swarup Damodar came to Jagannath Puri. He fell flat before the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, offering him obeisances and reciting a verse. So this verse is very big verse. I will directly read the translation. What Swarup Damodar Goswami, after falling flat at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, what prayer he is offering? O ocean of mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let there be an awakening of your auspicious mercy, which easily drives away all kinds of material lamentation by making everything pure and blissful. Indeed, your mercy awakens transcendental bliss and covers all material pleasures. By your auspicious mercy, quarrels and disagreements arising among different scriptures are vanquished. Your auspicious mercy pours forth transcendental mellows and thus causes the heart to jubilate. Your mercy, which is full of joy, always stimulates devotional service and glorifies conjugal love of God. May transcendental bliss be awakened within my heart by your causeless mercy. So mercy of the Lord is very much glorified. If one has mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, impossible things become possible. Very easy. Kathanchana smrute yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrute viparitasyat Shri Chaitanyam namamitam. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in one of the chapters, first verse, he says this, Shri Chaitanyam namamitam. I offer my respectful obeisances to that Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Kathanchana smrute yasmin. By remembering whom even once. Kathanchana smrute yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet. Most difficult things become very easy. Dushkaram, very difficult to perform. Sukaram bhavet, it becomes very easy. But vismrute viparitasyat. But if one does viparit, that means one forgets him, then the opposite will be true. Then easiest thing will become most difficult. Because Prabhupada was always remembering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most difficult thing, spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, became very easy by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He never forgot Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you read one diary is there, The Beginning. Has anyone read that diary? The Beginning? Maybe you might not heard. When Prabhupada left for America on cargo ship Jaladuta, so he wrote one diary called Jaladuta. That how many of you heard Jaladuta diary? You might have heard at least these words, Jaladuta diary. So that diary is also famous. That was only for those 38 days of travel, ever since he boarded till he got down. So that diary is published by BBT or BBT only. So it is called a Jaladuta. Prabhupada's handwritten, some things are there. Like this poem itself is also there. Bado Krupa Kaile Krishna, Adhameira Prati. That famous poem Prabhupada wrote on Jaladuta. So in Prabhupada's handwriting it is there. Bado Krupa Kaile in Bangla language. And some things Prabhupada erases, and that is Jaladuta diary. That is only limited to 38 days. But after he reached Boston Harbor, and then on till around 1 year, he maintained another diary, and that is called The Beginning. Very special, because Prabhupada is undergoing such hard struggle and nobody is with him. All these followers came afterwards and they were completely new, they knew nothing. In fact, when he was founding this ISKCON movement, then they were objecting in one sense that, Swamiji, why are you putting Krishna there? Say International Society for God Consciousness. First of all, they were surprised, what is this International Society? We are just limited to New York City. How worldwide, what is it? But okay, this Swami wants, fine. But the next objection was to this word Krishna. Prabhupada, they asked, we should have International Society for God Consciousness. That is a little more generalized term. Then many more others can come, Christians, Muslim. Krishna, when you say it looks like Hindu and all. Prabhupada said that God is Krishna. So why not directly say International Society for Krishna Consciousness? So ISKCON only. So that was done, and 12 signatories were required as the members of this legally authorized way. So they were asked, you come forward. Okay, Swami will be pleased with my signature. Fine. So they did not know properly anything happening. So Prabhupada was struggling all alone. So this is all there. Prabhupada has written down there in that diary, The Beginning, what struggle he was undergoing. Everyday basis, anything would happen, Prabhupada would write down. So one small thing there. So when Prabhupada reached in September month around, so October, November, December, March, January, February, March, now comes Gaur Purnima. So one day before Gaur Purnima day, Prabhupada writes in the diary, in that March of 1966, before the foundation of ISKCON was done. So he is saying that today is Adhivas of Gaur Purnima. Tomorrow is Gaur Purnima. So many of my God brothers in Bengal, in Navadvip, in Vrindavan, they will be celebrating this Gaur Purnima. But I am all alone here. I have no one around. So, means I cannot celebrate Gaur Purnima. I am all alone. Nobody is there with Prabhupada. But I am happy because I am here on the instruction of my spiritual master. And I am ready to go to hell also to preach this message of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I don't mind dying also. Just see Prabhupada's words, it's like outpour from the heart. How much sacrifice it is, being all alone, Indian sannyasi from Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, having hundreds and thousands of God brothers there in India, in Bengal, in Navadvip, Puri, and he's all alone for Gaur Purnima with no one to celebrate. Nobody knows what is Gaur Purnima. They are not interested in Gaur Purnima. And Prabhupada, the Gaur Purnima day morning, he goes to some program, he meets someone, and some 6 people come, or nobody comes it seems, or 6 people come, and Prabhupada said, we did kirtan only, and the kirtan was recorded. That was good kirtan, like that. So that's all. There is nothing like Gaurang Mahaprabhu's deity, celebration, Gaur Katha. Prabhupada is all alone. So that all the struggle he went through is noted by Prabhupada himself for that in that diary, the beginning. If you get some chance sometime, you may read it. Not much. I have read soft copy, so I don't know how much it is in hard copy, but not much maybe, small only. But Prabhupada sacrificed so much. So Mahaprabhu's mercy, super empowerment by the Lord. Nityam Prabhu said that more Senapati Bhakta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, my Senapati Bhakta will come. The commander-in-chief of Lord Chaitanya's army will come, and he will spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. So here Swarup Damodar Goswami is praying for Mahaprabhu's mercy. And that mercy only is carrying forward all of us also. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are getting this mercy of Mahaprabhu, for which Swarup Damodar Goswami is praying to Mahaprabhu. Uthaya Mahaprabhu kaila alingan, duijane prema veshe haile achaitan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised Swarup Damodar to his feet and embraced him. They both became ecstatic in love and fell unconscious. Katakshane dui jane sthiraya behaila tabe Mahaprabhu tare kohite lagila. After they had regained their patience, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to speak. Tumi ye asibe aji swapne te dekhila bhala haila andhaye na dui netra paila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I saw in a dream that you were coming, and so this is very auspicious. I have been like a blind man, but you are coming here restores my vision. How much Mahaprabhu loves Swarup Damodar. I was like blind man, you are coming like my restoring my vision. Swarupa kahe Prabhu morakshama aparad toma chhadi anyatra genu karinu pramad. Swarup said, my dear Lord, please excuse my offense. I gave up your company to go elsewhere, and that was my great mistake. Tomara charane mora nahi premalesh toma chhadi papi moi genu anya desh. My dear Lord, I do not possess even a trace of love for your lotus feet. If I did, how could I have gone to another country? I am therefore a most sinful man. Mui toma chhadila tumi more na chhadila krupa pasha gale bandhi charane anila. I gave up your company, but you did not give me up. By your rope of mercy, you have bound me by the neck and brought me back again to your lotus feet. Tabe Swarupa Kaila Nitaira Charana Vandan Nityanam Prabhu Kaila Prema Alingan. By the way, here this in 125th verse, what he's saying is the eternal principle of the Lord. In Chaitanya Charitamrita elsewhere, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only says this principle, which Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, Sei Sevaka Dhanya Dena Chhade Prabhura Charana, Sei Thakura Dhanya Jena Chhade Nija Jana. दुर्दैवे सेवक जदि जाय अन्य स्थाने सेई ठाकुर धन्य तारे चूले धरियाने. इसे सेई सेवक धन्य जेन छाड़े निज जेन छाड़े प्रभुर चरणम. That servant is glorious who never gives up the lotus feet of his master, and that master is glorious who never gives up his servant. And durdaive sevaka jadi jaya annistane. By some misfortune, if the servant leaves the company of master and goes to some other place, say Thakur Dhanya, that master is glorious, Tare Chule Dharyane. He catches that servant by Shikha and drags him back to devotional service. So that's why Prabhu should keep some Shikha. Mataji have long Shikha, but they don't need maybe so much. Prabhuji should have some Shikha, so that master can catch properly and pull him back from going astray, or if he has gone astray. Once His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj asked Gaurang Prabhu, why do you have such a small, big shikha like that? Just see Devamrit, earlier Bhakti Rasamut Maharaj. He has a small shikha. Why do you have such a big shikha? So he asked him like that. And then he said, because I can catch your shikha and bring you back. That's why you have big shikha. Maharaj was joking with him. So disciples should have some shikha so that spiritual master can drag him back. So Lord loves his devotees, and if the servant goes somewhere by mistake, for some reason, then Lord will bring him back. That's what Swarup Damodar Goswami is saying. Mui toma chadila. I gave you up. Tumi more na chadila. But you did not give up upon me. Krupa pasha gale bandhi charane anila. You tied the noose of Krupa, mercy, around my neck, and charane anila. You dragged me back to your lotus feet. And that is eternal principle of Mahaprabhu. He does not allow his servant to go away, provided he's serving devotees and all that. If he offends devotees, then what can be done? Then it is said Lord purposefully takes a devotee out of devotional circle, because devotee will not continue doing further offenses to devotees. For his betterment only Lord does it. Better he does some sinful activities in the outside world, which will lead to some trouble. But offending Vaishnavas is like by one's own hand, one is cutting one's legs by an axe. So one should not do that. One should always, two principles Mahaprabhu would always stress: Vaishnava Seva and Harinam Sankirtan. So Vaishnava Seva we should always look forward. Those who look forward to serving Vaishnavas, they will never commit offenses to Vaishnavas. But when we don't want to serve Vaishnavas, then we will commit offenses to them. And spiritual life, advancement in spiritual life means having more and more masters. That is advancement, not more and more servants. I think last time also I said, in the material life, how many servants are below you, subordinates under you, that is what is considered success. Like one joins a company, he is the lowermost rung of the company. As some years pass by, he gets promotion, etc. Then he goes little up. So it's like a pyramid. So here, bottommost level, so many. But up little less, and he has some people under him. I don't know what they call, team leader. So he may have 5-10 people under him, project manager, I don't know what all the terms in the software companies. And then one of the managers, he may have 100 people. Then MD, he may have 1,000 people, and all that. So there, how many more people under me, that much I am up the rung of that thing. But in spiritual life, how many more people are above me? That is the sign of success. How many masters I have to plead for me on behalf of me to the Lord. That is glorious. So we should look forward to have many, many devotees as our masters, so that we will be well nourished, protected, and make a lot of advancement in spiritual life. Okay, just few more and then we'll end. Or any question by now? We discussed a lot of things. In case you have. Yes, here he has a question.
My question is this, actually, this Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar is there, no? They're actually Laita and Vishaka. And Sakimati also, one of the Gopi. But Gadadhar Pandit is incarnation of Radharani, and also in some time it said that
Lalita is also there.
Lalita is also there, and Gadadhar Pandit is also called as Chaitanya is also called as Gadadhar Prananath. Why is not in the list of the intimate associates, bro? The Gadadhar Pandit, although he is a Radharani and
as such, Radharani, a major portion of Radharani is in Mahaprabhu only. Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam Naomi Krishna, he says. So Radha's bhav, her mood, and duty, her complexion is accepted by Mahaprabhu. So vast majority of Radharani has entered in Mahaprabhu. So Radharani minus that what is gone in Mahaprabhu is equal to Gadadhar Pandit plus Lalita Sakhi. You understand? So that is how it is. So that's why this Radharani Gadadhar Pandit is quite mild also. He is very soft and all that. He is Radharani, incarnation of Srimati Radharani. But vast majority of Radharani has entered already in Mahaprabhu as Radha Bhava Dyuti. So he is not considered as intimate association. They don't have to. He is there, Radharani is with him only, with Mahaprabhu only. It's like Antar Radha and Bahar Krishna. What shloka is there, something like that? Huh? Bahi Krishna? Yeah, something like this. So he has accepted the mood, heart of Srimati Radharani. So then that way Gadadhar Pandit will not come. And anyway, this is how Acharyas have explained. They have not told all the details. They might have told, but I don't know at least. Okay. Any other? You have a question? Here.
You are telling about we are fault finding means passing stones. That was
Radhanath Maharaj said. I just repeated.
correct only. If someone we are practicing in my family, I am only practicing. Materially, some my family members they will speak that she is doing like that. She's doing. They will tell about materially what they are doing wrong. So how can we can what we can how to see those things here?
We should make it like unseen. And just don't see in that way. If possible, you can tell the glorious things about that person. Spiritual glories. Material glories, material faults should not be spoken. If you all want, you can read this 11:28, 1 and 2. 11th canto, 28th chapter. Very nice verses. I don't remember, but like Paraswabhava karmani na prashanset na garheyet. Very nice. Same meaning, same understanding is given in the second shloka also. So what Krishna is telling Uddhav, Paraswabhava karmani, other swabhav, which is internal. And karmani, karma activities are external. Na prashanset, don't glorify. Na garhayet, don't criticize. Don't do both. If you do that, it is dangerous. In the next one it is said, if one does like that, he will get implicated in the material illusory potency. So twice it is coming. So very important shloka in that sense. So if there are some spiritual glories which are there with every Indian, they might be going Ram temple, Krishna temple, Vittal temple, something like that. So that can be glorified and that can be highlighted if you have to speak. And otherwise, if you are not going to speak, in the mind you don't accept it. You focus on the positive side. No? Like somebody says ill of your mother, you don't take it seriously. You know glories of your mother. She is my heroine. She is all and all for me. So we don't care for such wrong statements about our near and dear ones. So like that we should, like what you call, andekha karna. Just not seeing it in that way.
You told 3.5 of the
intimate associates.
One is Ramanand Rai, one is Swarup Damas Goswami, one more is
Shikhi Mahiti.
that I did not hear till now. That name.
So you can search in Vedabase. Shikhi Mahiti. Mahiti means information. So they would write down the information, like official job also. Mahiti, in Marathi also Mahiti means information. In Karnataka, in Kannada, Mahiti means information. No? Yeah, so they would have some, they would be like scribes kind of in the official duties. So they would write down. So their family is also called Mahiti. So you find out in...
we never heard that name in the...
there is 1 or 2 pastimes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And his sister Madhvi. Like that. She was very glorious, pure devotee of the Lord. That way so many devotees are there. You might not have heard their name. We have heard Chiranjeev, Venkatesh. But there is Chiranjeev, son of Shivanand Sen also. How many of us know? Shivanand Sen had 3 sons, isn't it? When Nityananda Prabhu did not get prasadam and accommodation across one river, when Shivanand Sen was stuck in the toll plaza and he came late, Nityananda Prabhu became so angry. And in the anger he said, let all the sons of Shivanand Sen die. And his wife heard and she started crying, oh, Nityananda Prabhu has cursed, all our sons will die. And when he heard, Shivanand Sen came and he heard from his wife that this is what Nityananda Prabhu cursed our sons, they will all die. Then immediately he said, Arey, you pagal, you foolish lady, for the offense that I have done, what is, it is nothing, let all our sons die. If and she's wondering, Arey, my husband is also like that. And then to pacify Nityananda Prabhu, he goes close to Nityananda Prabhu to beg forgiveness, and Nityananda Prabhu kicks him in his stomach, like that. And then Shivananda Sen glorifies. Oh my Lord, this lotus feet of yours is so rare for Brahma, Shiva, and so many others, and you have so easily given your lotus feet to me. So this is Shivananda Sen. So he had 3 sons, glorious. When his wife was pregnant, and Mahaprabhu came to know, Mahaprabhu was so happy. And Mahaprabhu said, name the son Puri Das, like that. So he was given the name Paramananda Das. Paramananda Puri, basically, the god brother of Ishwar Puri. Mahaprabhu loved Paramanand Puri. We saw he was the first one to arrive there. So after his name only, Mahaprabhu wanted Shivanand's son to be named. So he said, give him name Puri Das. Paramanand Puri or Puri Das, Paramanand Das. So that son was Paramanand Puri. And he became famous as Kavi Karnapur. So many associates are there, Mahaprabhu's. Like I told Chiranjeev, etc. And so many more. We don't know because we don't read many scriptures. They are described so much. So we should read Chaitanya Charitamrita, we should read Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mangal, and so many more literature on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are there. Sri Chaitanya Charita Amruta Mahakavya by Murari Gupta in Sanskrit, and many more are there. Yes, any other question? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for the nice lecture. Earlier on in the lecture, you were saying that Advaita Acharya, when he asked for a boon to deliver all the fallen people, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu obliged. But I also remember that Prahlad's incarnation in Chaitanya Lila, when he also asked, I don't think he was granted that. Although Prabhupada says, such a glorious thing he is asking, because he says, please deliver all the fallen souls and let me stay in hell for eternity. So how to understand this?
What to understand? What is the problem? Both are asking for the same thing. No?
For the same thing, but was Prahlad's
Vasudev Ghosh.
Vasudev Ghosh request granted?
Yeah. Mahaprabhu said, why should you go to hell? You are so dear to me. You don't have to. And for me, it's not a big deal. He says the bag of mustard seeds is there. From that one mustard seed is removed and thrown. What is the loss? It is nothing, because so many millions of more are there in that bag. Similarly, if all the living entities of this world are purified, they are liberated, what is it? There is no loss. And anyway, new living entities will come. And you don't have to go to hell. Just by your desiring only, I have fulfilled it. So Lord delivered all the people, it is said, that time.
Then why are we here?
We were not there that time. You should have been there in Chaitanya Lila. You came little late. But better late than never. Don't worry, we will be delivered. We are delivered by taking shelter of Chaitanya Srila Prabhupada. We are already delivered. Our deliverance is fixed. And as much sincerely we do, it will happen in this life only, quickly. Deliverance is guaranteed, no doubt about it. Yes. Is there any other question? In Mataji's?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you said in spiritual life we want more masters. But what happens sometimes, we could not serve their whatever the service given, all of them, and our own inability or not capability to do all of them to serve. So how could I have been, means without offending, or they may feel he is doing for other service but not my service. He is means the servant is doing other service but he is not able to do my service. Some may feel like that.
So that's why we should chant purely. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That's where we are begging for service more and more from Radha Krishna. And Radha Krishna will give us their service to us through devotees only. But for that we should have chanted properly. Then only we will be able to please more and more master. Otherwise, we may chant, give me more service, and more service comes and we say, no, why you gave so much service? Who told? Then it is contradicting our own prayer. We are not chanting, we are not meaning what we are chanting. So when we chant properly, appropriately in that mood, then definitely our capacity will be increased by Lord's grace, by Radha Krishna's grace, and we will be able to serve them. That's how gurus are topmost servants. Thousands of devotees worldwide have accepted them formally as their servant. Though it appears like master, But why they have accepted master, spiritual master as their master? Because he is able to serve them. He is the best servant for so many thousands of devotees. That's why they accept him as their master. Otherwise not. They will not accept some other young devotee as their spiritual master, because he is not able to serve that well. He is not chanting so well. But Guru chants very nicely, and that's how Prabhupada chanted so nicely. That's why so many people accepted him as their servant by making him their spiritual master. You understand, no? Servant, the spiritual master is a topmost servant. That's why so many devotees are happy with him. So we have to increase our capacity by chanting nicely and by serving great souls, devotees, by their pleasure, by their blessing, our capacity will increase, definitely. So that is to be done, that is to be exercised. It takes time also. In the beginning, we may be able to please one devotee who came to us, preached to us. Though we had so many faults, but he overlooked them and he wanted us to pick up devotional service. So we did some few things here and there, and that was pleasing to that devotee. That's how we made advancement. Then we were exposed to little more bigger circle of devotees, 5-10 devotees. And they also accepted us and tolerated our misgivings, etc. And we could serve them, please them. That's how our level increased. And slowly, we went to the level of getting initiated. And then also we keep serving devotees. Then level goes higher and higher and higher. And then you will be able to serve hundreds of devotees, please them. Then thousands, then lakhs and crores, and all living entities also. That is possible. But for that we have to chant very nicely and we have to serve great souls, please them. They are pleased, doesn't take much. At least they are very tolerant. It's a exercise to be done. You understand, no? So it will happen. If we try to do more than our capacity, then it becomes a problem. It's like we want to show off. We want to prove that we are quite powerful. Then it will not be so, no? We will be exposed that we don't have so much power. Isn't it? You're getting what I'm saying? Yeah. So let us be honest and chant nicely, serve great souls. Then our capacity will increase, for sure. Just a matter of time. Yes. Just like His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, when Prabhupada was in that Akash Ganga or somewhere, introducing Srinathji Prabhu's father, and saying that his Jayapataka Brahmachari is going to be the, master, spiritual master for whole of Bengal. So all the Brahmacharis were looking up and down at Maharaj, who was a Brahmachari. This Jayapataka will be Guru of whole Bengal? It doesn't look like that. But he did become, isn't it? That time the world did not know, but eventually now the world knows, isn't it? By serving devotees, our capacity increases. And great souls' blessings also. For that we have to render service to them. Then it will happen. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So sometimes it might happen that some senior devotee, because of some misunderstanding or some lack of communication, feels offended. So in our heart of heart, we feel that there was no mistake, but somehow some communication gap. So what should be our then response? Like I am at the bottom of the pyramid and somebody higher up and he is feeling offended.
We should go to him, beg forgiveness, and when you beg forgiveness, he will be kind of pacified and all that. And then he may ask, he may be open little bit. Till then he may not want to speak to you also sometimes, because he feels you offended him or whatever. But now when you have begged forgiveness, ask for forgiveness, then he may say that, do you want to say something? Or we can say that, I want to say some more things. Then he may say, okay, what? And then we can clarify, that these things happened. Maybe there was some communication gap, I accept that. But this is what, it was not my intention to offend you or whatever, the details can be told. And the tone, and we have already begged forgiveness, then that senior will understand that you were not like that. You were honest. Yeah, so sometimes misunderstanding in this world, this is how in fact Maya enters in devotee community. She cannot show us cigarette, she cannot show us wine bottle, but she will create misunderstanding in one devotee's heart about other devotee. And then, just like that story, a lion wanted to eat 4 cows, but all 4 cows would be always together. So he just could not do anything. So one thing he did, he talked in the ear of one cow, something, and whispered and said, "Don't tell other cows, this is only for you." And then other cows asked, "What was that?" And she said, "No, that is not for you, that is for me only. Don't ask that." So they said, "What is this? You don't tell, we are good friends and you are not telling, so we don't have anything to do with you." They went separately in separate grazing ground. And they all got separated because of the misunderstanding. Then lion one by one attacked on them and finished them off. So this is how Maya enters in devotee community also, through misunderstanding mainly. So that's why clarification is very much required. Communication is required a lot. That's why we have this whole communication for outside world also, but within devotee community also we need to communicate. Otherwise, because all of us are not fully focused purely in devotional service, so then all these misunderstandings take a very big shape and so many misunderstandings in devotees. And then already we are not doing proper Krishna consciousness. On the top of that misunderstanding, then while chanting also I am looking at that devotee and this fellow, that is what is going on in the mind. And thus Maya is cheating all of us, making fool out of us. Externally we are chanting Hare Krishna, internally we are chanting offenses of devotees. So that's why we need to communicate to devotees. It takes time, it is not required. It's like, there is no problem there, but I have to take up time and talk to that devotee for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes 1, 2, 3 hours in clarifying what was the exactly thing. But that is required, what to do. We are in Kali Yuga, and especially Maya, when she is playing so subtly and so tricky, we have to allow Maya to get out of amongst us, from us. So that will have to be done. We have to do. I also have experienced such cases. And like one of the senior devotees said, you don't appreciate my classes. I said, why? What happened? I appreciate. No, when I cracked the joke, everybody was laughing, you were not laughing. And I said, when was that? And if everybody was laughing, why will I not laugh? I'm a fool or what? In the mind I was thinking. Then I said, maybe I was sleeping that time. Sometimes we sleep in the class. Maybe I might be sleeping. I told that senior devotee, maybe I was sleeping, so I did not understand only joke. When I not understood joke, how will I laugh? That will be another laughing stock, everybody laughing, so I'm also laughing. That will be fool only. So either I might be sleeping or maybe I was sick. So in sickness also sometimes, joke might be cracked, but then one because of ill health may not. So then the way I said it, because it was genuine case, then my senior accepted. He said, okay, maybe you were inattentive that time. I said, yeah, that could be another case. Maybe I was inattentive. That's why I did not laugh. Otherwise, when the joke is cracked, everybody is laughing, I will not laugh. So then he understood this person is genuine, but I misunderstood him. So just see, not laughing in the class can lead to such a big misunderstanding. And it became a very big thing actually. So much of email transactions. Ultimately, I felt this cannot, it was becoming worse through email transactions. So then ultimately I told that senior devotee, I want your time. Not through mail, I want to clarify. So then he gave time and I presented my case. Then he accepted. Then he understood he's a genuine person. So what to do? Maya is trying to separate all of us because Prabhupada's movement grows stouter by all of us being together. So she has to separate one by one, especially among leaders. When leaders are separated, Maya is victorious. And when leaders are separated, people below are automatically, their faith is destroyed. Our leaders are fighting. So Maya is very tricky. We should not allow her, though we will not be able to defeat her in creating misunderstanding. She will create misunderstanding. But afterwards, at least at the earliest, we have to sort it out through communication. But certainly we should beg forgiveness. As I said, when we beg forgiveness, that person's heart opens for you. That's what I did when he gave me time, that senior. First thing I did, I paid obeisance. I said, Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhuvecha padidana pavanevasya. Please, Prabhu, please forgive me for the offense that I committed. And then when he understood, then he said, what you have to say. Then I spoke. Then he understood.
So Prabhuji, very wonderful. Thank you very much for this wonderful example and explanation. Now that we are in these 9 days of the Maya Devi, the Navratri going on, kindly share some thoughts. What should be our mood to seek the mercy of the Maya Devi so that we don't get affected, we remain immunized from the influence
We have to pray to her that you are the controller of this entire material world. Srushti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti reka chhaye vayasya bhuvanani bibharti durga ichhanurupamapi yasya chacheshtate sa govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Lord Brahma has already given that prayer, that you create Srushti, Sthiti, Pralay, creation, maintenance, destruction, all takes place. You are Chaya of the Lord, you are the shadow of the Lord. And you please release me from your clutches. When His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj went to take darshan of Mother Kali in Kolkata temple, where daily thousands of goats are chopped off and offered to Kali, such a bloody mace. So Maharaj was standing very fervently for 15 minutes, very intense. He was praying. So all the devotees were shocked. They were wondering what. And nobody could say anything. So after 15 minutes, when he turned around and he came out of the temple, he was walking. And some 3-4 devotees were walking with him. So one of my friends was there, Ramanand Prabhu. So he dared a bit and he said, Maharaj, what were you praying so intensely for 15 minutes? He somehow dared. He did not know how would Maharaj respond, but somehow he dared. Maharaj said, I was praying that, oh Mother Durga, you are controlling everyone in this creation, material world. Everybody is under your tight grip and clutches. Please release me from your clutches. And let me be engaged in Radha Krishna's service. That's what I was praying very intensely for 15 minutes. So that's what we could pray now. She is Durga and she has other side also. She is going to salute you when you pass all her tests. And you say every time yes to Krishna and no to Maya. So she will say, yes, you have passed the test. Now you go proceed in the service of Radha Krishna. Uninterruptedly, you are having free entrance in Golok Vrindavan also. She will be the one who will be sanctioning that. But after thoroughly testing each and every one of us. Not just like that. We have to pass the test. That is her that is her service. Like a thankless taskmaster. That is service. That's how she is Vaishnavi. Shiva also is Vaishnav. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. She is topmost Vaishnavi. So we should pray to that side of Durga Devi. That please Mother, please release me from your clutches so that I can be engaged in your master's service. I want to be released so that I can serve our master, your master, my master, our master, Radha Krishna. And she'll be so happy. In fact, Durga is just Radharani only for this material world. In fact, Durga herself is troubled by her service and she approaches Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna and says, oh Lord, what kind of service I have to do? I have to beat all your children. And Lord says, yes, you are none other than Radha only. You are just there in a different way for this Kali Yuga because souls are rebellious. They are not surrendered to me. You do this thankless task of rectifying, reforming them so that they will be eager for my service. And Radharani is surrounded by all the pure devotees who are inclined to serve the Lord. So she gives all blessing. But because we all in Kali Yuga, in material world, we are not inclined. We are Krishna Vimukh. We have turned our face away from Him. That's why Radharani has to appear in this different form of Durga. And then beat us, slap us, punish us. But she is not happy doing that. And she wants to test you so that we become very ideal, sincere followers of Krishna. And when we become like that, by passing her test, she salutes us and says, please proceed to serve our master. She is not at fault. We are at fault. And she is very eager to pass us in our tests, which we have to pass, which she only offers to us. Fine? Okay. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय, श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी।